For centuries, they were revered as the elite force of Christendom, a holy order sworn to defend the weak and fight God's enemies. But then the rug was pulled right out from under them. Once hailed as the defenders of Christendom, the Knights Templar were warriors, monks and bankers. They fought for faith, but were later hunted by the church they served. How did the holy become heretics? This is the rise and fall of the Knights Templar. The Knights Templar went from celebrated heroes to hunted heretics in the blink of an eye. They lived by the sword and weren't afraid to use it. In fact, they were so good at fighting that they quickly became one of the most feared military forces in Europe. They became famous throughout Europe for their bravery and skill in battle. And it wasn't just the common folk who noticed. Kings and popes alike wanted the Templars on their side. They were tough, brave, and dedicated to serving the Lord. But you know what? They also had a really cool uniform. Being a Knight Templar wasn't like being in a boy band. Sure, they were famous and well respected, but they also had to follow a strict code of conduct. Back in the Middle Ages, people were a superstitious bunch, and the Templars didn't help matters. With their super secretive ways and rumors of weird rituals, they became the subject of wild theories and scary stories. And let's not forget the time they got into a massive brawl with fellow Crusaders. The year is 1307 and King Philip IV of France is in desperate need of cash. Like seriously, he owes a ton of money to the Templars after seizing their property during a Holy Order dispute, and he's not happy about it. I know, yikes. But you know what they say? Where there's smoke, there's fire. He goes to the Pope and convinces him to disband the entire order. Within a few months, the entire order's gone and their assets are seized. As for the remaining Templars, they're left with nothing but their reputations in tatters. And he's not alone. Pope Clement V also gets in on the hate train, accusing the Templars of all sorts of sinful behavior. There, he's tortured and paraded through the streets before being burned alive. But it doesn't end there. And in the case of the Templars, there may have been a little bit of truth to those rumors. They supposedly formed secret societies and vowed to carry on the Templar mission, even if it meant operating in the shadows. Some say it's buried in underground vaults beneath old churches, while others believe it's stashed away in secret chambers beneath castles. Did they really engage in secret rituals and heretical behavior, or were they just victims of circumstance? Maybe they were both. They may have started out as noble fighters for the Lord. And do you believe they survived the purge and live on in secret societies today? Share your thoughts below. But as the centuries passed, they became embroiled in the same corruption and deceit that plagued the rest of medieval Europe. And as if that's not bad enough, they also talk about secret treasure stashes and all sorts of shady dealings. Philip IV is loving this. Yep, you heard me right. A holy war between Christians. Plus they had some pretty unique symbols and hand gestures that seemed a little too mysterious for some people. Yeah, that's right. We're talking about some serious medieval interrogation tactics here. Before long, the Templars were being accused of all sorts of crazy stuff. From being secret Satanists to having a secret stash of treasure. Not exactly what you'd expect from a group of holy warriors. No funny business, no gambling, and definitely no girls. I mean, come on. That's just not fair. They joined the fight against the Muslims in 1147 and showed everyone what they were made of. At the Battle of Edessa, they stood their ground and protected the city, even though they were outnumbered. And when King Louis VII got captured, they went on a daring rescue mission and brought him back safely. Talk about a badass move. Their white cloaks with a big red cross on them looked super awesome when they rode into battle. And let me tell you, they sure did ride into a lot of battles. And when the fighting was over, they didn't just sit around twiddling their thumbs. They put their fighting skills to good use by helping to rebuild cities and escorting important people around Europe. Talk about versatility. So why exactly did the church turn its back on these loyal soldiers? They had their own headquarters, the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem, where they lived and trained. And if you thought they were done making enemies, think again. But when they saw how dangerous the journey was, they decided to get real serious about their mission. Hugues de Payens, a French knight, wanted to change that. He teamed up with a bunch of fellow knights and formed an order dedicated to protecting those on their way to the Holy Land. Pope Honorius II loved the idea and gave the group his blessing, along with some fancy new digs. White robes and a red cross, just like the knights of old. They started training as fierce fighters, and soon became one of the most feared fighting forces in the Middle Ages. These guys were like the superheroes of their day, except instead of capes, they wore chainmail. And what shocking secrets did they uncover that put the Templars in the crosshairs? Let's find out. This is the rise and fall of the Knight Templar. A long time ago in a faraway kingdom, there were these fierce warriors known as the Knights Templar. The Templars were originally founded as an order of monks who protected pilgrims going to the Holy Land. It all started back in 1118 when pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land were getting their butts kicked by bandits and highwaymen. But don't be fooled by their monk/knight getup. These guys were hardcore warriors. During the Second Crusade, the Templars got a chance to shine. As the Crusades raged on, so did the Templars' reputation. Now, it wasn't all sunshine and roses. Over time, the Templars grew from a small band of volunteer knights into a massive organization with thousands of members. The Templars got into some pretty heated debates with other religious orders over land and power. But despite their flaws, the Templars continued to do their thing, protecting pilgrims and fighting in the Crusades. So you're probably wondering what's so mysterious about the Templars anyway, right? Well, here's the scoop. There were rumors that they worshipped a strange deity, engaged in blood-drinking rituals, and even sacrificed babies. You see, the Templars took their secrecy seriously. They didn't talk much about what went on behind closed doors, and that only fueled the fire of speculation. And when the king found out, he wasn't happy. He started spreading rumors about the Templars, saying that they practice heresy and commit all sorts of naughty acts. But it's not just rumors and accusations. Philip IV takes things to the next level by arresting some Templars and torturing them until they confess to his crimes. The confessions are brutal and detailed, with Templars claiming to engage in everything from spitting on crosses to worshipping demons. He uses these supposed confessions to seize the Templars' property and get rid of his debt once and for all. And he's not done yet. On October 13, 1307, Pope Clement V issues a papal bull dissolving the Knights Templar. And as if that's not bad enough, Philip IV throws the Grand Master, Jacques de Maille, into a dungeon in Paris. As the flames engulf him, de Maille supposedly curses the king and pope, setting the stage for centuries of Templar conspiracies and Templar conspiracy theories. According to some sources, a handful of Templars escaped the purge and went into hiding. And let's not forget about that treasure. Rumors persist that the Templars hid vast riches somewhere in Europe, waiting for the day they could reclaim it. To this day, historians are scratching their heads over what happened to the Knights Templar. The truth is, the Templars were products of their time, a time when religion and politics were deeply intertwined, and when fear and superstition ran rampant. So what do you think happened to the Templars? Were they misunderstood heroes or sinister villains? Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and keep asking questions. And hey, thanks for watching.